On this week's episode, the fade train is off the rails. It went 0-3 last week at the Pennzoil 400. We'll recap that race. Then we look forward to the Instacart 500, where I'll get the train back on track. Some random thoughts, including Dak Prescott's deal. We recap the Arnold Palmer Invitational, where Jay had a great weekend. And then we wrap up with our picks and preview for the Players' Championship, all caps, with Big Zaddy.
This week's episode brought to you by Action 24/7. They are a reliable sportsbook with thousands of active players from all around the world. They cater to everyone's needs with their in-demand products, from in-game sports betting to live casino, esports, and much more. They provide fast payouts, great bonus structure, and 24/7 customer support. Put your action on the Players' Championship this weekend. Sign up today and use code THEVIG and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit.
Okay, here we go.
Forgot the update, the ad read, and I almost said Pennzoil 400 in there.
I was going to do it, and once you started, I noticed it, and I was like, I'm not going to mess with this mid-read.
And it's the Instacart, right? This I couldn't remember off the top of my head what the NASCAR was.
Yeah, wait till we get to that. It's crazy. But fade train, like I said, derailed. I can't think of the expression I want to use. I was going to say I flew too close to the sun by trying to fade Kyle Busch one last time, but I don't know if you know it. What's the expression like when you do something one too many times?
I don't know.
It's like on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think, but I think that's what I did by fading Kyle Busch, because it was so good last year. He sucked. He seems okay this year, still not great, but I think that race last week was 267 laps. I was 3-0 for 240 of it. So frustrating.
Are they practicing? Is that back? No.
Nope. So they still have the competition caution. I think there's practice and even qualifying for some. I want to say 8 races this season. I think like Talladega is one of them. I can't remember what else. But Kyle Larson won. He was plus 900. And of course, Kyle Larson wins. I picked him. We've had 4 races. I picked him 3 out of the 4 to win. And the one I didn't
was, you don't.
Yeah. So he wins. That's huge. His 4th race on Team Hendrick. And he gets a win. Fastest in Hendrick history.
He was good before he got fired, but he wasn't this good, right?
I don't know. I know when you look at all the stats, he's one of the top drivers. I know he was good. That's his first win on a 1.5-mile track. He had 9 second place finishes. That was his first win. So he's been good, but it's his best setup easily.
Right. That's what I'm wondering. It's almost like a blessing in disguise to get fired. Like now he's back with a much better team. So he's got a better car every week.
I know it's early, but I could see him winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
And this begs the question, who's going to be his first sponsor? Because he still has none. So when you see his car every week, it's just Hendrick.com.
Really?
Hendricksports.com. Yeah, he has himself has no sponsor. So he has Valvoline,
right,
which is just a NASCAR sponsor, on his suit and stuff, but himself, he has no sponsor. So it'll be interesting to see how long that takes, if it takes more wins, but winning definitely helps.
I mean, maybe it's the time for us.
That's actually okay. I'm gonna make a note. I'm gonna inquire on that one. I mean,
you have 0 sponsors. We'll give you $5.
I'll give you a huge logo.
We'll give you. I'll give you $100 for the hood.
Yeah, I've been in contact with Hendrick Motorsports. So
just got to switch gears, get off of trying to get Will Byron on, and we'll just go strictly to hood logo of Kyle Larson.
Yeah. We'll forget everything you've ever done. So like I said, 0-3. I moved to 5-3 on the season, which still it's not bad, but it's not 75%. So got to get it back on track this week. Do you have any takeaways from that race? Boring.
Exciting start, boring finish.
Yeah.
Is kind of how it was.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was 12 lead changes in the first 50 laps. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. And Kyle Larson almost blew it at the end because he wanted to pit, but he got
Mhm.
stuck with a lap car and he had to go an extra lap. He lost like 2 seconds, but he still won by like 4 seconds.
Right.
So
I hate races like that where everyone kind of pits differently and then you have no idea who is in what
it's
place.
all a
And
gamble. The
right.
pit strategy is all a gamble. So I agree. I don't like it. And it's like I think I said last week or 2 weeks ago, people just hate this build for these mile and a half. It makes these races terrible.
Mhm.
So we got the dirt race coming up soon, which will be fun. There's no live pitting in that, by the way. So it's only stage, end of
Okay.
stage you can pit.
So what happens
So
if you
it'll
like
be
blow a tire? You got to run on your rims.
I think it's okay. Maybe I'm wrong. It might
Caution.
be no green flag
Okay.
pits.
Right.
So it might be, yeah, just
Imagine
caution.
you
They
crash and they're
just
just
leave
like,
them.
nope.
The track is just covered in debris
Right.
until the stage is over.
It's basically
But
just
okay,
a
looking forward to this
demolition derby.
weekend. Yeah. Yep. But looking forward to this weekend. We have the Instacart 500. Makes no sense. It's 312 laps and it's 312 miles. So where's that five NASCAR? Well, just when you think you got it figured out,
Right.
they throw something else at you. But Phoenix Raceway, I don't think we saw this track last year. Could be wrong, but doesn't ring a bell to me.
I think it was
So the
before the
odds,
break because we are right
okay, yeah,
now.
that makes sense.
We're good. Um, this is really the week that everything shut down.
Yeah,
So I'll
yeah,
get into it when we talk about the players later. But
okay,
this is the week that
yeah, yeah. That sounds right. We're right around St. Patrick's Day. That was like my last hurrah. But the odds for this race, we've got Chase Elliott plus 550. He's the favorite. Then after him is Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex, Ryan Blaney, and William Byron round out the top 10. So what are you thinking for this race?
um I know he's been off this year. He was dominant last year, but I think this is the week he kind of gets back on track, and that's Harvick. I mean,
Yeah.
in his last 15 races here, he's top 10 in all 15 of them, including 5 wins. I'm surprised he's not the favorite to win. So I think
Mm-hmm.
you're getting, a pretty decent number at plus 600 for him here. Obviously, like I said, he's kind of been off. I think he was a lap down last week. Like it's
Yeah.
weird not to see him at the top every week, but
Well, and
clearly this is one of his best tracks. So
yeah. And it's weird to say that he's been off because I agree with you. When I was looking at my stats, I was like, I wonder if I can fade Harvick this week because he's not been very good.
right.
But I think he has been decent. He had a bad
Top
finish.
Yeah, top 10s in the first 3 races, I guess, because
Yeah,
he was one of the 2 guys who had a top 10 in all 3 races. So
yeah, he went fourth, sixth, fifth,
right,
and
he's
then he
been
just got like 20th or something. But like we're in our minds, we're like he's been awful.
right because he hasn't won. It's been 4
But
weeks and he hasn't won.
he also just like hasn't led many laps, if
Mhm.
any. And when you watch, like he's starting in the front and he just drops.
Right.
Like he just so he's definitely not having a great year, but fourth, fifth, and sixth finishes in 3 of the 4 races is pretty good.
I mean, I
So
guess
yeah,
when you're that good, if you're not winning, you're not living
yeah,
up to expectation.
yep. So I like that pick. Logano looking to repeat. I'm pretty sure this past race he was looking to three-peat. Didn't finish well. That was your pick last week. I actually liked him to win too. I made him my pick to win as well. That didn't look great. He's starting the race as well, not finishing.
Mhm.
So maybe they figure that out.
I'm
So some
finding
potential.
too that, not to change the subject too much, but these, because of the like 3 o'clock start times, and maybe this week it'll be a little different with the clocks changing, but all these races so far have been that kind of day to night, and the
Mm-hmm.
track changes so much. So you get the guys out there early who are racing well, then the track cools down and your car setup is completely different. So I'm wondering, as the days get longer and they're finishing under the sun, we get that hour this week, that if that's going to kind of change things. The cars won't change
Yeah,
drastically throughout the race.
and this being in Arizona, it's really going to be like 1 o'clock
Right.
noon over there. Isn't Arizona Does Arizona not do daylight savings also?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Arizona like doesn't do daylight savings. That's a whole
I
different
don't
thing.
understand how time can't just be what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no
Just put
idea.
it in the middle. Just change it a half hour and just leave it there forever.
Just leave it. That would be so messed up. If it was like at least an hour is an hour. Imagine half an hour feels like it would throw everything off.
Right.
Okay, so I got a couple potential fades: William Byron and Chase Elliott. So Byron's 10th overall in the last 6 races in average finish, 12th in driver rating, but his best finish is 9th. Might get some lines there, but it's looking like Chase Elliott again. And I'm wondering if Chase Elliott is going to be this year's Kyle Busch, because he's been the favorite every race. I don't know why he's the favorite this race. He's raced here 9 times, only has 1 win. Um, and I just think, maybe these NASCAR guys get overvalued. The favorites just get overvalued. So he's 13th overall in recent races, average finish. His finishes this season have been 2nd, 21st, 14th, and 13th. So not great. Everybody in the top 10 has a better average finish than him. Only Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin have better driver ratings. Um, like we talked about last week, the favorites typically have 3 or 4 matchups. So I think I should at least get a couple of those guys. So it's probably going to be Chase Elliott this week. We'll see. And then potential tails: Kyle Larson, 3 top 5s in the last 5 here, 3rd best average finish. He's going to be starting first row, and he has priority in pit stalls. So we'll probably get that first one, which I always like to see. And then Christopher Bell is going to be my black horse for this race.
Back.
Yep. I just discovered that NASCAR puts out power rankings every week. He's 8th in the power rankings, which is he did win though, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
He won.
of course.
Yeah.
Daytona
Okay.
Road. Yep.
So he's 8th in power rankings. He won here in 2018, but it was the Xfinity Series. And JGR trending up. They have all of their racers finished in the top 7 last week. So a little bit of a black horse there. His odds are plus 2,800 to win. So even top 3, top 5, you should get pretty good numbers there. But that's all I got for NASCAR.
All right. Hopefully it's a mile track, right?
Yeah.
I feel like mile and a half are the worst ones, so hopefully a little more excitement this week.
Yeah, it should be closer racing. And mile track, I think of Dover, and Dover's a good race. So maybe we'll see the same thing.
All right, that brings us to random thoughts. Not a ton of stuff on here this week. First thing I want to talk about is Ryan O'Reilly. His mom, he's got a brother that played in the NHL too. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I guess they went the local rink when they were growing up. The rink manager used to always give him like free ice time and let the kids go skate extra. And he had a kidney issue, and the mother donated a kidney to the rink manager kind of as a thank you for doing that for her kids when they were growing up. And I mean, one's a captain of the Stanley Cup champion Blues of 2 years ago. So kind of a cool thing for her to do that for him.
Yeah, that's a cool story. My grandma had 3 kidneys.
What?
Never donated a single one of them either. Selfish. But apparently that's pretty common. People have 3 kidneys. Yeah. Huh. You can donate 2.
Right.
Pretty crazy.
Next, I have Jacob Copeland. I don't even know who he is. High school kid. Big recruit for college football. I don't know if you saw anything on this.
Well, so this is an old story.
Is it?
This is 3 years old.
Why did I just see it then?
That's what I was wondering, if maybe there was something calling back to this, but he was on Florida. He's a wide receiver on Florida.
Right.
And this happened in like 2018.
Is he like a draft prospect maybe? Is that why?
I think so, okay. Yeah.
I was going to say, I swear I just saw this on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
I think like ESPN posted it.
Maybe they're like, what's his mom going to do during the draft?
So basically during his signing day, she had Alabama stuff on. He chose to go to Florida. She got up and left. She was sitting next to him at the table. So now I hope that she's got on, like, I don't even know what, Chicago Bears stuff at the draft, and he
Yeah.
goes to Minnesota and she gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Uh, I remember that video going viral, and it was so sad because he looked so sad.
Yeah.
What a terrible, I mean, I don't want to say a
Well,
terrible
you
mom
wanna
because
know
who
what it is? I
knows,
bet
but like that's,
Nick Saban probably offered her, like, this
yeah.
mansion if he went
That's
to
a good point.
Alabama, and she only got a car because he went to Florida, so
Yeah. But
but
I'm pretty sure, I mean, Florida was stacked with like Kyle Pitts,
mhm.
and he was not their number one wide receiver. So I really don't know if he had as much of a draft prospect. I'll have to look into that because it is weird that you were just seeing it.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll even be at the draft, if she'll be at the, draft party, or if he's like,
Yeah.
"Nah, you're not coming."
Yeah. Maybe uh there was a follow up on that. I forget how it ended, but yeah, maybe they just don't even talk anymore. She
Imagine.
texted him after Alabama won
Right.
the national championship.
It's a dumbass.
Roll Tide.
Right. What else we got on here? Some overtime rule changes. I don't know if you saw any of the proposals.
So is this for NASCAR?
No, NFL.
Okay. I did not see this.
So there's been two proposed. So I think any team can propose a rule change, and then it like goes to the committee and they vote on it and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
they're still trying to figure this overtime thing out in the NFL. The first one I have on here is called Spot and Choose, and I think the Ravens came up with it. And Belichick, actually, the reason I saw is because I follow obviously a bunch of Patriots media,
Yeah.
and he is in favor of this rule change. And it's kind of cool. I like it. It's a little different, thinking outside the box. So you flip the coin, you do the coin toss. Whoever wins the coin toss decides where the ball is going.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other team picks if they want to go on offense or defense.
What do you mean where the ball's going?
So they get to pick the spot of the ball. So you win the coin toss, you say, I want the ball on the 20-yard line. The other team gets to pick offense or defense.
Okay.
So you can, I mean, if you were to say, I want it on like the 20 going in, the other team's obviously going to pick offense. If you say, I
Offense.
want it on the 10-yard line going out, like the other team might pick defense.
Huh.
So
Yeah, that'd be,
ton of strategy.
what would you do?
I thought a lot about it, and like my initial thought was I'd put it on the 35 every time
Yeah.
because realistically they got to get to the 30 to kick a field goal. So that leaves 70 yards. The 35 is midway point, and then make them
Mhm.
decide offense or defense. But then I was thinking, like, there's, weather involved. There's a lot of other factors. If you're playing the Chiefs, you almost have to say the 5-yard line and hope they don't
Yeah.
pick offense. Like, you have to
Yeah.
almost make them pick defense.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that I don't know what I would do. And is this non-sudden death a different proposal, or would it be the
so
same
that
rules? Like,
that was the other proposal, was seven and a
so
half
but this
minutes,
proposal is
sudden death.
would be same, like touchdown or
Yep.
field goal
Field
or
goal
whatever.
ends it. Yep.
Oh, okay.
You don't even get the ball back. So it's just sudden
Okay.
death. And then the other proposal was 7.5 minutes, non-sudden death. Once that 7.5 minutes is over, if it's still tied, it's over, whatever team's ahead. I'm
Hmm.
actually kind of more in favor of that one, because then
What is it now? Is it a full 15?
it's 10 now, but if you kick a field goal, they get a chance to match. If you score a
Mhm.
touchdown, it's over.
Yeah. I actually like both of them, honestly. I just hate the current.
Yeah.
I'd like to see anything else.
Um, I just like the strategy that goes in with the spot and
Yeah.
choose. Like, there's just so
Oh,
many factors.
the analytic guys are gonna go nuts
Yeah.
with that
You
one.
got to put it on the 28.5-yard line on the right hash. That's the worst starting spot in football.
Oh my god. This makes me think, has no one ever proposed just the college rules?
I don't know. I mean, I would think that it.
And
I,
who
I
votes?
almost I almost like if they were to do college rules, but I'd want them to start at like the 50.
Yeah.
Maybe the 40. What do they start in college? The 30,
I think it's the 25. Could be
25?
the 30. Yeah.
I just think with NFL kickers, like you can't start them in field goal range. Like
Yeah.
college kickers are a
Yeah,
little
that's
more
fair. They
erratic.
suck. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe start them at the 40, 45, make them at least get a first down to have a shot at a
Yeah.
field goal.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see if anything changes.
Mm-hmm.
Other big news in the NFL, Dak signs a massive deal. I was actually surprised. I have a lot of friends that are Cowboys fans, and they all hate it. They all love Dak, but they hated
Really?
the deal. Um, and I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter too. People were pissed, and it comes down to the money because they have a lot of needs on defense for that team. And Dak
Yeah.
is making 70. What is it, 70 million or 75 million next year, which is insane.
Well, he had a $66 million signing bonus,
Yeah.
which is
So,
it's the most ever. So
and it's
that's
the most
crazy.
ever guaranteed money too. I think it's like 130 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think the way quarterbacks are going now, it's going to be interesting to see what the other positions are like because it's going to get to the point where everyone is paying their quarterbacks this much money. There's only so much cap space. Now, all of a sudden, the top defensive end isn't getting 20 million anymore. He's only getting 10. And there's going to be
Yeah.
no market because nobody's got money. So the
Right.
gap between quarterback and every other position is going to be pretty drastic.
Yeah, it's gonna make I was gonna say it's gonna quarterback's gonna move around a lot more.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's true. It's just like
Right.
off the top of my head, it's like we can afford this for a couple of years, but then we're gonna have to dump him and like draft a quarterback.
Right.
But maybe that's not how it'll go. I am not a capologist. If I was a Cowboy fan and I saw that Dak got signed and I wanted Dak, I would be like sick. I don't
Right. Right.
I don't know what this means, but we get Dak.
We will literally have nobody else on our roster, but we got our guy.
Yeah. And then this last thing up here is just totally a total random thought. Do you listen to many podcasts?
Nope.
So I've been listening to a ton. I've been listening to podcasts all day at work. So I'm burning through like 4 or 5 podcasts a day. One thing that is huge in the podcast world, and everybody says, is someone will say something and be like, let's unpack that. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard the term, yeah.
It's terrible. It's like the biggest thing in podcasting. Someone says something, it's like, why don't we unpack that? And I now that's all I hear, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
I'm gonna try to slip it in every week now.
Right. I'm trying to think of an example. Like after Kyle Busch made me go 0-3, I punched a hole in my TV. You'd be like, why don't we unpack that a little bit? Why are you that angry?
Right. It's basically like break it down, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Unpack is a new buzzword.
Right. All right. Speaking of that, let's unpack the Arnold Palmer from last week. DeChambeau won. I think I said last week I was kind of between him and Rory because of the long ball. The long ball was such a big thing, but I took DeChambeau 2 weeks ago and he screwed me, and I hate the guy, so can't take him back to back. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad I didn't take him. He is such a weasel. I don't know
So
if you
what
saw
happened?
the sprinkler head thing,
No.
but I mean, first he's kind of known for arguing with rules officials. I swear this guy probably spends more time, and this is apparent by the way he plays. He can drive the ball a mile, he can drive it 20 yards in front of the green, but he can't chip it on his next shot. Maybe he should stop trying to find loopholes in the rules and work on his game a little more. But there's this rule: if there is a sprinkler head within 2 club lengths of the green, and your ball is 2 club lengths from the sprinkler head, you get free relief.
That's weird.
So it's supposed to be so you don't have to like play through a sprinkler head or stand on one or something like that.
Okay.
There's a sprinkler head within 2 club lengths of the green. He hits his ball into the rough. The sprinkler head is not in his line. It's not where he's standing. He calls the rules official over, and according to the rules, he gets a free drop. So he takes his club out. You get a club length to where to drop it, angles it over. So now he's on the green, puts his tee in the
Wow,
ground, and drops the ball. So now he's
that's crazy.
putting, and you can't drop it on the green, but you can drop it on the fringe.
Yeah.
So now he's putting instead of hitting from the deep rough, and he ends up
Wow.
winning by 1 stroke. Just
Wow. Yeah, that's so weird. What a weird rule.
right. And I don't know if it's like one of those old school rules because back in the day, like the sprinkler heads were not in the ground; they were kind of sticking up, and
Right.
but I'm just sick of that stuff. First the fire ants, now the sprinkler head. Like, just
Yeah,
go play golf.
that's really crazy. I gotta start watch because I haven't watched like any golf at all. I gotta start watching again. This is a good weekend to watch.
Right.
So
Um, I did pretty well in my picks. I kind of backed in my top 10 this week. I thought for sure, no way. Max Homa finished 14th. And then obviously groups behind him, 2 guys. And I knew I had a shot because there were like, I think 6 guys. I needed 4 of the 6 guys ahead of him to bogey
yeah,
18. And probably 50% of people bogeyed 18. So I thought, all right, there's a shot. So
yeah,
the first 4 guys played through 18. 2 of them bogeyed it. So now he's up to 12th. And I'm like, okay, I got a shot. Um, Fleetwood and can't remember who the other guy was. Keegan Bradley were both 4 under. Homa finished at 3 under, and they were on 16, which is the par 5. They both birdie 16. So I'm like, all right, it's over. There's no way because now they got to go. Now they're 2 strokes ahead of them with 2 holes left.
hmm
And I'm like, the only real shot is if they bogey both of them. So they both play 17. Fleetwood pars it, so it's over. I mean, even if he bogeys 18, I don't win. Bradley
yeah,
does bogey it, but I don't even care at this point because there's just no way. Gets to 18. Fleetwood ends up double bogeying 18. I'm like, yes, I got a shot. But then the problem with 18 is everyone hits their tee shot in the rough, and there's just no way to get to the green in 2. And that's why everyone's bogeying it. He just pipes his drive right down the middle. And I'm like,
hmm
all right, here we go again. He's on 2-putt par.
yeah,
I still lose. Holman comes in 11th. He ends up hitting his second shot like in the greenside bunker, and then he hits it out over the green, and he ends up
nice.
bogeying. So backdoor. That is a
Yeah,
golf backdoor cover. You don't see a lot of those, but I was
that
pretty pumped.
yeah, that's the crazy thing about golf is like with NASCAR, it's like okay, they have to finish up these last few races. You think you have it, whatever. Golf is I mean, that all the way through to the 18.
Right.
Like even NASCAR, although someone can mess up last 5 laps, especially if it's like one of those races where the last 5 laps are usually close, not like these past few ones. It's not the same. Like
Mhm.
golf is every shot,
Right.
every hole for 4 days straight. Every shot.
And
It's
it's not
crazy.
even and like my guy was done like 2 hours before these guys.
Right.
So he wasn't even playing. And I
Yeah.
still had a shot to win even though he was done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's every shot for an entire weekend,
Right.
a 4 day weekend.
And when you have money on it, you obviously pay attention to every shot. So
Yeah.
like there's a Thursday implosion and you're like, it's over.
Yep.
Everyone's like,
Yep.
"What are you talking about? It's Thursday." I'm like, "Doesn't matter." I mean, that happened with Victor Hovland a couple weeks ago. I was like, he
Mhm.
quad bogeyed 18. Like, there's no shot.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they somehow come back.
right. So that was my big hit. I think he was plus 500. I had Zalatoris top 20. That hit pretty easily. Came in 10th. That was plus 190. I had Rory to win, and then slash top 5. He also came in 10th. All 3 of my guys tied for 10th. So guess it
Solid,
right.
consistent.
Um, he went out early. Thursday was pretty good. He ended up Saturday he was still I think in second. Um, Sunday he just had an implosion. He hit 2 balls straight in the water, and it was kind of
Mhm.
that was it. It was over from there.
Yeah.
But I'll take it. so far this year, plus 6.15 units.
Yeah,
So
can't
solid start.
complain. Yep. I went 1-2 with tailing Hatton. He tied 21st. Bryson obviously won. Rory, like you said, tied 10th. My one win was against Hovland, who tied 49th. So I went 3-3 on the year so far on my golf picks. I'm up 0.55 units.
Positive money through 2 weeks.
Yeah, positive money. I got a few picks this week, though.
And Hatton was all, I think I told you this last week when we were talking about it. He's like such an emotional player that he's just like, if he implodes, he implodes. If he's playing well, he plays well. And that's
He had
literally
a
how
bad Thursday.
he had a bad Thursday. He had a great Friday. He had a good Saturday, and then he had a bad Sunday.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, that's just the way he plays. If he's hot and he's on and he's confident, he's great. If he hits one bad shot, it's look out. The whole world is burning down.
Yeah. All right. So now moving on to this weekend, we're going to welcome on Big Zaddy. He just walked in.
Am I on?
Yes.
You are on.
What's up, Jeremiah?
What's going on?
Not much.
See if we can get you on here.
Oh, hey. I didn't know you were doing video too.
Yeah, it's the new thing.
It's a new
Follow us
thing.
on YouTube, The Big Bets.
All
right.
So the reason we have Big Zaddy on this week, this is actually my second favorite golf tournament of the year. Obviously, the Masters #1. I love the players. It's not a major, but I think it's probably the biggest tournament that's not a major. I know it's the biggest purse that's not a major. So obviously, if you're a golfer and you're going to win a tournament that's not a major, you probably want to win the one you're going to bring home $2 million.
Right.
So this is played at TPC Sawgrass. It's a par 72 in Florida. We asked Big Zaddy to come on because he has actually played this course before. So just want to kind of get some of his experience playing there. Maybe find out how he did on that island green.
So how did you play there, first of all?
So this goes back in my early days. I worked for a cable company in Saratoga. And I was the regional marketing manager, and they had a conference in Jacksonville. And my boss, who was a big golf guy, gave me a bonus just to get clubs because my clubs were so bad. So
you cannot be seen at that course with those clubs, is basically what he said to
you. Basically, yeah. And I ended up getting Hogan clubs. And the big guy who played Hogan at the time was Tom Kite. And that was, I think he might have won it back in like 89 or 90, 91, something like that. And that's just about when I went down. So I was a big Tom Kite fan, and we went down and had this conference, and we went on to the course, and it was a killer course. I mean, Billy, your mother and I got married in 87. I think this might have been around 91 or something like that. So like 4 years into my golf career, because my father-in-law taught me how to play. And it was a monster course with alligators. And I mean,
they're part of the course. The fifth hole has
right.
6 alligators on it.
I hit a ball into the sand. It might have been like 12 or 15 or one of those holes, and it was right by a log. And I was going over, and the guy who was caddying with us said, "You don't want to go over there." I said, "Why?" He said, "That's not a log, it's an alligator." He goes, "So unless you can run 50 yards really fast, I would not. I'd just drop another one."
Did they make you take a penalty for it?
They did, yes.
Oh, that's so. You can't tell someone not to take a shot.
Right. Meanwhile, DeChambeau wants a free drop for ants on his ball.
Yeah, that's my boy. He won last week, right?
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, we get to the 17th green, and it was a lot of fun. I missed on my first shot. I hit probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches below the wood, where the wood is on the side there. I don't know what to call that. but about 3 or 4 inches below the wood. And I can't remember. I want to say I hit like an 8-iron or something. It's really supposed to be like a wedge, but that was my game. So I picked up a 7-iron and hit it the second time, which
Nice.
is really, really kind of cool. There were these undulations in the fairway that were crazy. I mean, you hit the ball. My best shot was probably 100 yards, and I hit it, and 100 yards you couldn't see it because it was laying behind this like little mini hill.
Yeah.
They're all over the place, especially in the rough. And it was a tough course, but it was fun, and it's something I remember forever because I don't watch golf much anymore, but I do watch that one just because I was there. It was
Right.
a lot of fun.
Right. I mean, it played, I think, 8th hardest course 2 years ago. It was the 8th hardest course on tour. So
Okay.
I can't imagine being an average hack like you and me and going out there and trying to play one that the pros struggle with.
And that was 30 years ago. I mean, I can't imagine playing it now with 30 years of experience because I haven't gotten much better. But it was a nice course to play. And it's actually like on my list of things to do. I'd love to get you guys down there just to do it. But I was looking it up recently. You get like a 1-night stay there and breakfast and play the course once. And it's like $700.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking before that you don't really talk about the fact that you played there much. You always talk about Bethpage. You don't talk about TPC.
Bethpage? I never played Bethpage.
I swear you said you played Bethpage Black.
No.
I guess I made that one up, or I've been lied to my whole life until right now. You've never played Bethpage Black?
No.
That's not accurate.
That's absolutely accurate. No, I've never played Bethpage. I used to go down and shoot video at Westchester Country Club.
Not the same. I don't even know what that is.
Right.
Okay. That's different then. Okay.
I can't believe that.
No.
Your whole life has been a lie.
Yeah.
Sorry to break it to you here live
crazy. That's crazy
on your show, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's kind of a cool course because different things have happened. I remember back, geez, maybe late 90s or something. A seagull stole a ball off the 17th green. It was like Brad Fable or something, and he hit it on the green, and a seagull came and just like took it away.
Yeah, I know
funny.
that. I know that clip.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And the worst shot you can make is actually hitting it on the approach to the green where you walk on. And some people end up hitting it there, and that's kind of a tough shot from there,
Right, because then you end up hitting your next one in the water.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that was actually that hole. I remember researching a while ago. It was kind of an accident that hole ended that way, because with all the swampy area and stuff and all the sand, it kind of gave way. And it was a Pete Dye, I think, who designed the course.
I believe so. Yeah.
She said, "Why don't you just make it an island green?" Because everything around it just like fell into the water.
Right.
And he's like, "Well, you're my wife. I guess I should say yes." Okay.
I mean, it's now I would say the most famous island green there is in golf. So
it is
good call on her part.
So yeah, hopefully one of these days we'll be able to get down there for a weekend or something, and three of us get out there and play. So get Emily out there, make it a foursome.
Right.
Yeah. So
do you know what you shot? Do you have any idea?
God, no.
Did you break 150?
Yes. Yeah, I broke 150. I'd have to say it's probably $1.25 or something like that. It was probably really, really bad.
I mean, I wouldn't even care. If I got to play a course like that and shot 150, I don't think I'd even care. Like, just to be there is the experience. Right.
It didn't matter. And that was the whole thing. Just walking the course, and knowing how famous it was. And it was right after the championship too. It was like maybe April or something like that.
Right. So it was probably still in tough condition. I know a lot of these courses like grow the rough out and everything.
Yep. And you could see where the stands were, because they had the stands up. They had to take the stands down, and some of them were still up. which is really kind of cool. And you kind of picture yourself with all these people in the stands and everything, and then booing. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think Bryson might have a hard time with it, but
yeah,
we'll still be rooting for him.
That's first up on my things to talk about the course.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It is not a Bombers course by any means. You have to have a complete game to play there. All these long hitters, it's just not that style of course.
Right.
Last week I talked about how, it was one of the longest courses on tour, and those are the guys that are going to win. This week, not that way at all. The most important stat is greens and regulation. Mm-hmm. Seems like everybody who wins this is in the top 10 in greens and regulation. And the other interesting thing about this tournament is nobody seems to repeat. There's only been 6 people ever in the history who have won there more than once. I think Arnold won 3, and then there's 5 other guys that have won twice, and that's it. So
yeah, actually, Jack won 3.
Or Jack won 3, not Arnold.
Yep.
So seems like every year it's a new guy. So don't pick anyone who's won. That's my big advice this week. If they've won here before, they're probably not going to do it again. I think the last one was Tiger, like early 2000s. It's the last repeat winner.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's not good because I am backing.
Yeah, you can go first here.
Yeah. So I'm not totally backing Rory, but Rory is one of my picks. So I'm going back to fading Jon Rahm. So I got fading part 2. He actually crumbled. So the last one was 2019, right?
Right. So this was the week. Year? This was the week last year that everything got shut down. So Friday they played with fans, full everything. And then kind of all the news broke. So they were like, all right, we'll come back Saturday and play with no fans. And then by the time Saturday actually rolled around, they canceled the whole tournament. So
okay. So 2019 was the last one.
Right.
So Jon Rahm was the 54 hole leader going into Sunday. Shot a 76 on Sunday, ended up tied 12th. So I'm fading Rahm this weekend. I've got Dustin Johnson. He's even to beat him in a tournament matchup. He's best on tour in adjusted scoring. He was tied 5th in 2019 at this tournament. I got Rory McIlroy plus 115. He's the defending champ, tied 10th last week. He's been playing pretty well this season. I got Bryson DeChambeau plus 115. Leads tour in strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained tee to green, and par 3 scoring. Was tied 20th in 2019, and this was pre-steroids. So now he should be able to cut that down to hopefully top 10. And then I got a couple more picks. I'm going to do Adam Scott, top 10. He's plus 470 from 2016 to 2019. I guess 2019, 2016, because it's going backwards. He was tied 12th, tied 11th, tied 6th, tied 12th. So he's always right there. This seems he likes to play here, I guess. And I'm going to double down on him and take him also to be the best Australian at plus 250. Other than him, Jason Day is the favorite, plus 220, and Cameron Smith, I believe, plus 250 is tied with him. So those are my picks for this weekend. Kind of back in Rory, but not totally.
Right. Speaking of the DeChambeau steroids, I know you said you didn't watch much, but they were talking about how he has cut back from 6 protein shakes a day to 1 because his stomach cannot handle 6 of them. I'm like, my stomach can't handle 1. I don't know if you drink protein shakes, but like one of them,
back to the gym today.
You are gassy for hours. Could you imagine drinking 6 of those a day?
I talked to Jordan this past week, and he doesn't watch golf, but he stopped at one of our friends' houses who loves golf. And he's like, that one guy is juiced. And I was like, Bryson? And he's like, I don't know. But I showed him a picture. He's like, oh yeah, that guy is ripped.
Yeah. The guy whose neck is wider than his head somehow.
Yeah. The hat does him no favors either.
Right.
All right. What do you got?
I got a bonus pick actually this week. I tend to do this with tournaments I like is I research too much because I like the tournament so much that I want to be right. So I tend to do this with the players and I tend to do this with the Masters. So I was going through the list of people I wanted to win, and I have a 1-year-old kid, and I let him make his own pick, just not even on purpose. I was reading names. I was like, hey, Logan, do you like DeChambeau? Nothing. I get to Rory's name, and he starts clapping. Literally out of nowhere, it just starts clapping.
Oh, no.
So,
So that's good.
yep, that's good for you. So,
Good for
Logan.
me, bad for him because Rory sucks. We hate Rory.
Right. So, there we go. His first ever golf pick is Rory to win the Players. I almost hope that wins, even though it's not my pick.
Get him started young.
Right. My pick to win the whole thing is Morikawa. He is plus 2,200. And as always, I split half unit to win, half unit top 5. Top 5 is plus 400. I said before, the major stat here is greens and regulation. He is 4th on tour in that. He's on a hot streak right now. He's 3 out of his last 4 tournaments. He's top 10. He won the World Golf Championship, which is also a loaded field, just like this one. I mean, it's not like winning one of those no-name tournaments that 20 guys show up to. Like, the World Golf Championship is literally the top 70 players in the world. So he won that tournament just 2 weeks ago. He didn't play last week. And then last year he was in 4th before they shut it down. So he kind of fits my model. Great all-round game. I mean, he's won a major, so the stage isn't going to be too big. So that's my pick to win. Top 10, I have Daniel Berger plus 400. I can't believe actually that you got that good of a number with him as a top 10. He's 24th in greens and regulation on tour. His last 6 tournaments, he's got 4 top 10s. He won the AT&T, and he was also in 4th last year when they shut it down. So decent track record at this course. Then for my no name, I always seem to find these no name guys and take them. Max Homa, again, he's no longer a no name guy, so I got to stop betting him. But he's cashed in, I think, twice for me, top 10s. Is Matthew Naismith. He's plus 800 for top 20. He's actually 1st on tour in greens and regulations, and his last 4 tournaments, he's got 3 top 20s. So that's a major payout for top 800. That's a major payout for a top 20 plus 800. Like I said, 1st in greens and regulation, and he's hot right now. He's got 3 out of his last 4 tournaments top 20. So that's a good value pick there.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm taking that.
So that's what I got. Can't wait. It's my 2nd favorite tournament of the year. So Thursday through Sunday, be watching a lot of golf.
Yep. All right. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right. So that'll wrap it up here for us at the VIG. Ask us some questions on Twitter, and we'll answer for you next week. See you guys.
Wait, does Zaddy have a pick? Do we want to give him a pick?
Do you have a pick?
If I'm going to go with a pick, I'm going to go with Logan's pick.
All right.
I'm going with Rory because my boy is, my grand boy is going with Rory. I'm going with Rory.
All right.
I clap for Rory.
Chalk it up. All right. See you guys.